the new world of COVID, those of us who have worked from home for years are now teaching everyone around us how to work at home. Companies are finding out that workers can be productive at home, and some companies are even considering not bringing employees back to the office due to the improved production. We know it can be tough to get used to working from home, but with the right work from home tips, tools, and mindset, you can make it work. Here we've collected the best work from home hacks to make your working at home experience more manageable and efficient. Having greater autonomy and a flexible schedule can be a wonderful opportunity, but distractions and less supervision can zap your productivity if you're not careful. Sitting at home alone all day can also have negative effects on your physical and mental health. So, no matter if you're a freelancer, telecommuter, employee, or small business owner, it's crucial to follow some simple strategies to create a productive working environment. These hacks, tips, and strategies can help to keep you on track and healthy while working remotely. Number one, have a designated workspace. A key component of successfully working at home is having a dedicated workspace. Whether it's a spare room, converted garage, yurt, or hanging nest, designate a specific place for work and only work. You need to create an environment for yourself that creates the sense that you're leaving personal time and entering work time. Tight on space? Even if you live in a small apartment with other people, it's important to carve out a space of your own from which to work. You can loft a bed and add a desk underneath, find a corner desk that fits your space, or even set up your workspace at the end of your dining table in a hallway or closet. Find a space next to a window if you can. Sunlight can help with productivity and lighten the mood. Top work from home tip. Do not work from places that are designated for relaxation, like a couch or a bed. I find I'm way more productive sitting in my workspace than hanging out on the couch trying to work, where I normally relax. Your mind associates different environments with different things, and if they get muddled, it can mess with your sleep during the night and productivity during the day. Number two, make the best usage of your space. Optimize, optimize, optimize. Keep your workspace clean and clutter free. In a survey by OfficeMax, 77% of respondents said that clutter impairs their productivity, and more than half of those surveyed said it also negatively affects their motivation levels and state of mind. Your performance coincides with your workspace. When it's organized and precise, you have the mindset and motivation to work. Once it's clutter-free, optimize your space further by adding air filtering plants, a music player, or a dry erase board. Most importantly, get a desk or table with the right height and a proper chair with good back support. Or consider using a standing desk or ball to sit on. This will make working much more comfortable and helps you to avoid back pain. There's even software you can install that helps you maintain good posture. Pro tip: you can easily DIY your own standing desk by placing a cardboard box upside down on your desk to lift up your keyboard to the ideal height, or use an ironing board. Seriously, it works. Avoid keeping a refrigerator, snacks, or unhealthy drinks within easy reach. Instead, keep a big bottle of water close by and refill it at least once, preferably twice a day. 3. Stick to a set schedule and create a routine. Once your workspace is ready, establish a consistent routine. Sure, one of the benefits of working from home is being able to work whenever you want, but that doesn't mean you should. Having a structured schedule helps boost productivity. It also makes it a whole lot easier to keep your work and personal time separate. Notice during what times of day you're the most productive and build your schedule based on that. There's no need to force yourself to become a morning person if you're feeling more productive at night. To start off your workday routine, it's a good idea to get ready as if you were to head to the office. So get out of your PJs, brush your teeth, shower, and get dressed to signal to your brain that it's time to start the day and work. Develop a schedule based on the types of work you do and where your clients or coworkers are located. If you work for a company in your time zone, plan your workday around their business hours. On the other hand, if you are a freelancer working for clients in various time zones and countries, you may need to plan shorter blocks of times throughout the day rather than one large 8-hour chunk. Whenever possible, schedule some time that overlaps with your coworkers and clients on a daily or weekly basis. 4. Take breaks and move. Multiple research has been found that stopping every 90 minutes renews your energy level and gets you ready for your next task with a new outlook. During these breaks, you can get up and stretch and do light exercise, refill your bottle of water, go outside the house for some fresh air, eat a healthy snack, and come back refreshed. Employees who take a break every 90 minutes report a 30% higher level of focus than those who take no breaks or just one during the day. They also report a nearly 50% greater capacity to think creatively and a 46% higher level of health and well-being. Sitting all day is bad for you. Some research indicates that each hour of sedentary activity can actually lower your life expectancy by more than 20 minutes, which is a pretty amazing statistic to consider. Think about getting a standing desk or an under-the-desk elliptical machine. Most importantly, stand at least once an hour and take breaks for moderate activity throughout your day. Stretch, take a walk, water your plants, clean your office, throw the ball for your dog, or spend some time playing with your kids, whatever works for you. In a recent episode of The Meaningful Show, Dean Bakari explored the importance of these rituals of renewal even further. Dean noted, whenever you can disconnect for a short period of time, it allows your mind to just kind of rejuvenate and renew. When you can give yourself that and then come back to your dedicated focus time, you'll find that you're actually more productive. There are also lots of apps that can help with relaxation and balance. There's the Calm app, there's some iOS apps by the Huffington Post, there's meditation apps, and there's even different YouTube channels with free yoga and even some yoga apps. 5. Set boundaries. Especially when you're working from home with kids or other family members or roommates around, it's crucial to set boundaries and for everyone to respect them. Let everyone know what times you're planning to work and when you can or cannot be disturbed. If your workspace has a door, close it. To signal when you don't want to be disturbed, the easiest solution is to make a do not disturb sign to hang on your door. If you have kids and need a way to show them that you're in work mode, put on a baseball cap or your thinking cap, or place a stuffed animal on your desk or doorknob that lets your kids know that you are at work and should only be disturbed for emergencies. If you have kids, it can be incredibly challenging to care for them and get work done at the same time. For parents with kids at home, it can help to plan work hours around your kids' schedules and nap times. For tips on working from home with kids, you can also check out an article by freelance designer Fernanda Malo-Stark. But even if you're alone at home, boundaries are important in digital spaces too. Make it clear when you're available for a chat conversation or video call, and when you're not. If you're using a tool like Slack, a good hack is to set your Slack status to busy when you're deep in a project, just so your coworkers know not to disrupt your flow. Top work from home tip. Remember that boundaries should also apply to your free time. Don't get sucked back into answering work questions outside of your set working hours. Turn off all notifications and shut down messaging and email programs at the end of your workday so you can actually designate work for working hours. 6. Avoid distractions and procrastination. Distraction is the killer of productivity. But when working from home, you're facing a whole lot of new distractions that need to be avoided. The boundaries we talked about earlier can help to minimize distractions. Consider checking your emails only on set times during the day. Don't leave your messenger or email program open because as soon as you see new messages coming in, I guarantee that you're going to want to check them. This can easily lead to you spending the whole day playing catch up and constantly jumping from one request to another without ever having the chance to focus on your priorities. My number one hack is to turn off push notifications and sounds on your computer and phone. All those little sounds and pop ups may not seem like much of a distraction, but they are taking your focus away for a second, and that's enough to lose focus. It can help to turn off your phone or put in a different room unless you need it for work. In that case, just mute your social media apps. If your work environment is noisy, noise canceling headphones can provide instant serenity and focus. I'm using mine daily, and I couldn't live without them. There are plenty of apps that can help with avoiding distractions by blocking certain time sucking websites like Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, you name it. If you don't trust yourself around all those websites, use an app like Freedom or Limit to block them. A messy workspace can also be distracting, so try to keep your surroundings clutter free. If you feel like the dirty dishes in the sink are distracting you too much to get anything done, go ahead and wash them. If you can't work in a cluttered room, do some cleaning. But be careful not to get sucked into unnecessary housework, which can easily turn into procrastination. 7. Be prepared with backups. Several years ago, when I first started working at home, it wasn't in vogue, in style, cool, or anything else that they label it as now. And most people just thought I was home all day doing laundry, making food, and doing stuff with my children. Nope, I had a real professional job that required real professional results. On a rather busy day with lots of deadlines, we had a major storm where I lived. Unfortunately, we ended up losing power for a couple of days, and my office moved to the local coffee shop, who still had power and internet. After that situation, I invested in some reliable backups so I didn't have to go hunting for other workplaces if something happened to my power or my internet, and I always made sure I backed up my work every so often so I didn't lose documents. If you work online, back up your work frequently and save files in the cloud whenever possible. Test all of your equipment weekly and learn how to do some basic repairs and troubleshooting yourself. That way you can fix simple problems on the fly to get you through the day if there is a problem. If your budget allows, have backup equipment and services including an extra laptop or desktop, wireless and fixed internet connections. When my internet goes out, I find I can quickly switch to using my iPhone as a hotspot, so catastrophe avoided. Cloud storage and backup solutions like Dropbox, Box, Google Drive, Backblaze, a mobile VoIP, voice over IP like Skype, and landline phone services, a backup battery or uninterruptible power supply or UPS. So, having all these backups will make sure that if something does happen, you are more than prepared. 8. Communicate with your team. Communication is the backbone of remote teams, so don't neglect it. It shouldn't be necessary to have to babysit a team, but everyone needs to know when you're in, working, and what to expect communication wise. Makes for a much happier team if everyone is in sync. When communicating and writing, make sure to phrase your messages carefully. Add more context, explain things more thoroughly, and think about what your message might sound like to the other person. Intentionally use a friendly tone in your messages, which can go a long way in improving the whole exchange. When we're not used to communicating remotely, it's easy for misunderstandings to happen. That's why it's so important to communicate clearly. For example, end your calls or emails with a summary of what you're planning on doing next or what the conclusion and findings of the meeting are, just so everyone is on the same page. When you're jumping on calls or having virtual meetings, use video. It helps you feel more connected to each other when you're able to see other people's faces and they can see yours. Also, allow more room for questions and comments. In conference calls, you need to allow for delayed sound and for people to unmute their devices. So give people a little more time to respond. When asking someone a question, lead with their name so they know you're talking directly to them and can listen more carefully immediately. Consider the difference. Hey, Paul, question for you. Can you tell me more about the project goals? Versus, can you tell me more about the project goals, Paul? And remember to also share fun stuff and personal anecdotes to lighten the mood and keep the team spirit alive. 9. Stay social. When you work from home, you meet and interact with fewer people on a daily basis. This causes many remote workers to feel isolated, which can cause anxiety and even depression. Once you find your groove and you have established a routine you're happy with, don't forget to keep in touch with your friends and colleagues. You have to make time for personal interactions by scheduling phone calls or video chats. Make time for conversations to keep you sane and to keep you feeling connected. Fortunately for us, we live in a time where the available technology makes it easy to stay in touch with others. One tip is to join a local professional group that will help you stay up on business matters and will allow you to meet others who you have lots of things in common with. We realize during COVID some of these meetings may be virtual, but it will still give you additional communication with some business perks. Finally, 10. Just do what works for you. Remote working has changed the nature of the work environment. As sociologists and businesses argue the pros and cons and the impact it is having on society and the business community, more and more individuals around the world are working from home. If you are one of those people, stick to these work from home tips and make your health and sanity a priority so that working from home works for you. Please take a couple moments and like this video, and if you have some work from home hacks and tips that work, feel free to post them in the comments below.